I'm Alex Howard.
And I'm Amanda Silver. And this is Dirty Laundry. We're back. Season 4.
Season 4.
It's just so wild how far we've come.
Yeah.
We're now into our 4th season.
And we still have so much information to share. We are like bursting at the seams with intel that we need our people to hear.
Yes. I was saying to someone the other day how it's like really like a menu. It's like a menu we've created for people with free advice, free support. Take what you need. Share what you think others will help others. Yep. And like things that, you know, you just need to know when you're going through this process.
I had someone call to see if we were going to work together. Yeah. And it was like, I was not the right fit. It was not appropriate for mediation. But I was like, go to some of our earlier episodes. Go to like, you know, the Law 101. Go learn about the finances. Yes. Like, go back. We are giving away so much information that you don't need to bother your lawyer or your mediator with. You can do research. This is vetted. This is, you know, on par with, like, we know what we're talking about. Yeah. So go back, listen to stuff. Yes. And now we have even more stuff to share.
So much to share. And I don't know about you, but I've been extremely busy. Yeah. September has become, it's like January was divorce month. No, I think September is the new divorce month. It is insane. It's just like, I think maybe it's the kids are back in school. Yeah, back into routine. And people are just like, okay, now I need to figure out my shit. Yeah. Now it's like we've gone through the summer. Yeah. Like we used to think, okay, they got through the Christmas holidays. We've gone through the summer, and now it's like now I need to like figure out my life. Yeah. Like make changes. September is like a you know, like for us Jews, it's a new year. Right. So it's like a new start.
I still think of September as a new year. Like I still do an academic year.
Yeah. I feel like it's a fresh new year. Yeah. Which is nice.
Yeah. And maybe because my birthday's coming up in October, it's just like, it feels like a whole new fresh start. So it's like September is this like gear up to like turning the calendar year on my birth. Yeah. And like, there's no holds barred. Like, what are we going to do this year?
We have so many
It feels so exciting, so fresh. And so
it's like that back to school.
So I think too, to what you were saying though, is a lot of folks are like, okay, I need a fresh start. I need a clean start. And that is independent of my spouse.
Yes.
Hence September being the new divorce month.
I think
you know, maybe you had vacation with your kids. Maybe your kids were like at camp or away. And so you were able to have time to sit and think and maybe even talk to your partner and go, are we even happy? What are we even doing here? Right? Not every divorce is like, oh, you cheated or you suck or whatever. Sometimes it's just like,
It's having that like inevitable discussion that's been lingering. It's like just closing up that loop. I feel like it's about like closing up that loop so you can make space for like new things this year, right?
Exactly.
So like, you know, that's part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And back to school, back to routines, back to all of that. And it's like, okay, let's get our ducks in a row.
Yeah.
And so with that, let's talk back to school because I don't know how yours went. Mine was like a little bit chaotic.
So mine wasn't too chaotic.
Good.
So I don't know if you ever saw, I mean, I think everybody saw, remember during COVID, that video that went viral with that man who was like, he was in a suit and he was working and he was having some serious financial meeting. And in the background, you see like the kid crawling.
Yes.
And then, like,
yes.
I don't know who it was, whether it was partner or a nanny or somebody was grabbing them and like he's trying to continue with it. So that basically happened to me.
Oh, in a mediation? Oh.
So back to school means back to germs.
Right.
So of course,
so
we had a good week, a full week of school before boom, sick.
Yeah.
So I had a kid at home. Yeah. So I was actually decided, you know what, like I have full back-to-back day. I'm going to go to my parents' house to do my meetings because my mom was downstairs. She can watch the little one.
With the babies. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm upstairs and I'm in a mediation and it's quite a heavy topic. We're talking about some very, you know, as it can be in our line of work. We're talking about some very serious discussion. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at my screen and I see a little head pop up. And I'm like this. Hey, like, go to grandma. And the head's getting like bigger. And there's another one. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
And they're both, and then like, you know what, I'm just gonna need a minute. I'm like, I'll be right back. And like I paused the meeting and went off video. And then I like took a few minutes, got the kids back to grandma, whatever. They were hysterical, wanted a hug. It was cute. Like, I sent them off their way and then went back on and I'm like, I'm really sorry. Yeah. But like it happened.
It does. It
happens because you're working from home. Like we work from home. Kids are going to be homesick. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I got one home today. In fact, I had two. So
I know I've got a home office, but still little creatures show up. Usually for me, it's animals.
So But that's okay because they're not like...
Well, they're not breaking confidentiality.
Like my dog walks in
exactly.
or cat walks in.
Yes.
But like having the kids that crawl and they know I'm in a meeting, so they're like...
They always know, those little rascals.
But aside from that, back to school has been great. But for you said it's been chaotic.
It's just getting back into the groove.
Yeah,
it's
what part has been chaotic?
Just like, oh shit, I need lunch stuff, right? Like, oh, do you need new running shoes? And of course, we only remember the night before,
obviously,
and it's Labor Day, so everything is closed. And I'm like, well, we're screwed. And then we're at an age now where like how you look, the gear you have,
Very
like this
important.
is becoming really important. And so there was a tragedy with a water bottle over the summer, and then
no, was it an Owala?
Of course it was. And I'm like, I'm not spending this much money again on a water bottle for you to lose.
And then, look, can we just talk about how heavy they are?
I know. These kids are going to all have back problems.
It's like 6 pounds.
I never had a water bottle. You went to the fountain.
You were fine.
You hoped nobody spit in there. Constantly
just constantly in a state of dehydration. And you had an apple juice and you'd be off in your
It's
day.
so wild. Like I was an athlete all throughout my childhood, youth, with no water bottle.
How did you survive?
Right? Live to tell the tale.
Wow.
I know. It's so funny. These kids are so funny.
And now it's the specific water bottle.
Yeah.
Gotta have the Owala.
Gotta have it.
Yeah,
and
or
I get it.
Stanley
I want them to fit in. I want them to feel cool.
Yeah.
But also, I'm sorry, $50 for a water bottle? Like, this is absurd. Times 2.
Times 2.
And then you lose it? No. Anyway,
I know what Santa is bringing this year.
No, of course I caved and got
this all under the tree.
I caved and I got the dumb water bottle because I'm a sucker.
Not worse because it's like the guilt. And it's in the grand scheme of things.
I know.
You're like, just,
But so, life with like middle schoolers has been different.
Okay.
This time around. This is my first time around. But learning about what is cool and what isn't, trying to decipher the language. It just makes me feel very old and uncool.
It does make me feel old.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I did get ID'd yesterday at the LCBO.
Good for you. There's nothing like that.
I'm just gonna put that one
you
out
feel
there.
so good.
But aside from that, the language that my kids use, like the Riz and the Sigma, I think I'm getting around. But like, everything's gonna crash out. Like, I don't know what that means. Crash.
Everything's mid. I'm like, can we just
what
be happy or sad?
Like,
mid.
Mid.
I'm not into it. Let's get on to topic because we could catch up for days.
Honestly,
and days and days.
We could.
So back to school when you're going through a divorce or are divorced and parenting from 2 homes can be even more challenging than a fucking water bottle lost. So
it is by definition, parenting, I think, from 2 homes versus 1 is going to be
always
have extra challenge.
Different challenges.
Maybe
because
different.
to be fair, a lot of folks have found peace. After
you're right. Maybe some challenges have been removed.
Yes.
But logistics.
Logistics
Yeah,
let's stick with that.
Let's talk about
logistical challenges.
Let's start with that.
Yeah.
With dealing with the schools and the homework and the routines and the extracurriculars. And I just, there's just so much room for conflict.
It's just ripe.
It's ripe for conflict.
Just
and no
sitting in the
matter how, much you've sort of tried to plan ahead, it's still going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's why we try and provide, especially with more higher conflict personalities, the most detail. Around
so clauses that
stuff.
we include in the agreement, for example. So, things like ensuring that you have maybe a shared calendar. I love a Google Calendar for folks.
Yeah.
I love that you could I encourage mine. Again, I don't have especially high conflict, but there's conflict everywhere, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I love to say, set up like a family email, put in your kids' names or whatever, right?
Oh,
but
I like that idea.
A family Gmail, it's totally free. It comes with a calendar and you both have access. So one of the hurdles that we run into a lot is typically in a marriage, there has been a primary communicator. Even if you're not the primary parent, you are like the primary the
go-to.
Exactly. Coaches, teachers.
It's just easier that one person does it. Why do both have to suffer?
And why? Why do both, right?
Yeah.
But now you do. You both need that information and you're both entitled to that information. I think that's a lot of folks kind of forget that. No, this is your right, but also your responsibility.
Yes.
That person is not meant to be informing you about the kids'
They're not
schedule
your secretary.
anymore. Exactly. Yeah. So I love a Google Calendar.
Okay.
Not sponsored, but hey, Googs, what's up? Come and talk to us.
Yeah, seriously.
But it's one central location and there's actually no back and forth because you can both access the same email. You're only using it for child-centric communication.
Can the Google Calendar be synced with the co-parenting apps? I wonder.
Great question.
Because a lot of, I mean, that's honestly when I have more high conflict families and behaviors and whatever, I always say, say, okay, we got to get you guys on a co-parenting app for
some of
so
these
many
apps
reasons.
are really expensive.
I know, but also so is fighting it out.
Fair.
Like, think about it. Okay, so it
yeah.
costs you $150 a year, give or take, per person. The amount you're going to spend having conflict and dealing with it in litigation
lawyers,
or even mediation.
Yeah.
You're going to spend way more than that.
Exactly.
Right? So at least have a running record of what's been going on.
Yeah.
For so many.
Yeah. For all of the reasons.
All the reasons.
But all that to say, if you are parenting from two homes, you need to have access to information. You need to be getting all of that information. But one thing that you and I have talked about prior to this is what happens when that email creates more conflict?
From the teachers.
Yeah, emails from anyone, from the coach, whatever. Even if it's just logistics. If there's conflict, people are kind of looking for an excuse to kind of keep that fight going.
For sure. There's personalities who are looking to weaponize.
Yes.
And I think that you see a lot of it, the weaponization of correspondence from a simple email from a teacher saying, so-and-so forgot their jacket today.
Right.
Which normally would be, oh, oops.
NBD.
I'll drop it off.
Send it tomorrow. Yeah.
When you're in a high conflict co-parenting situation, it's, you don't dress them properly. This is neglect, blah, 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 blah. Instead, it's like, oh, okay, you forgot something. Like, I think things get taken out of hand for different reasons. Maybe legitimate, maybe not. But, these third parties can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And they don't even realize. Yeah, they have no idea. Like,
it's not malicious.
It's not malicious. The teacher wants to send an email about something the child is struggling with.
Right.
Or they push someone at school. Or just things that they need to communicate.
Life with kids,
they forgot a snack or just something like that. But then it turns into a battlefield. Yeah. How do you deal with that?
How do you deal with that? Yeah, that is really tricky. And so that is a great question. Should teachers, let's just go with teachers for the moment for easy anecdotes. Should they not be copying both parents? We can't expect teachers who are overworked and underpaid to be remembering your parenting schedule and all the parenting schedules of the various children.
Or co-parenting experts.
Right?
Right, because it's not just one.
No, it's not just you.
Statistically,
like 50% of the kids.
If you've got 20 kids in your class, there's a lot of them that are going to have parenting plans. Yep. So how do you set your teachers up for success? And I'm a teacher, so I have some knowledge there. But how do you set the teachers up for success, but also not let them get into trouble? Because they don't, how could they know?
They're not looking for trouble.
That's the last thing that they need. They're not paid enough to deal with these parents who are going back and forth with conflict. They're not. They're just not.
So again, going back to this one email, is it easier? You're not calling one parent out. Right. You're not saying, oh, mom, you forgot the coat. Dad, you forgot the snack, right? It keeps things a little bit more neutral maybe. But yeah, when do things also not need to be communicated? I mean, at a certain age, again, so both of mine are in middle school now. The communication has plummeted.
They have a million teachers probably.
They're on a rotary schedule. Yeah. They've got different homeroom teacher versus English versus
probably
math.
Probably even know half of them.
Don't know them, don't care to. Right. Like, how's he doing? Great, thumbs up, move on.
No news is good news.
No, but really.
No, but honestly.
So when you're in high conflict, no news is good news.
No news
and
is
if the
good
kid
news.
forgot their coat, guess what? They're not going to forget the coat tomorrow. They're cool. They learned that lesson. Do we need to engage with parents?
Right.
Again, age specific,
yeah,
right?
Depending on the age.
If Timmy is 2, it's not his responsibility to remember his coat. That's on the parents. Right. By 13, dude, forget, you don't even want your coat. That's on you. You're avoiding coats at all costs.
Yeah.
But point being, where do we draw the line between being responsible and looking out as a teacher for your students and inadvertently creating way more conflict, which the kid is then suffering from, right? Let's not forget all of this is meant to be child-centric. So yeah, you think as a teacher, you're looking out for your kid. Hey, Timmy was cold, but actually what that has resulted in
is something that you could never have even imagined. And it's not, teachers are not trained in family, mediation or family conflict.
Dynamics,
we're not, we're trained in other areas, the children's social needs and emotional needs and all those things. But this is part of it. And I think it's a missing part.
Yeah.
I think that, do
they need more training?
I think schools would do their teachers a service to give them the tools to deal with these situations so they don't get into a problem. Yeah. Maybe it's a meeting, of course there's professional development that could happen, but I'm wondering case specific, maybe it's a meeting at the beginning of the year.
Right.
About, okay, how is communication going to be handled with the family? Yeah. What does your parenting plan say? Is there a court order that says anything about communication?
Yeah. Okay. So we've deviated from what I was originally trying to say, which is no. This is perfect. what do you put in your parenting plan? So like I gave the example of the Google Calendar.
Fair, yes.
So like what are some of the things, parameters, if you will, about communication that you typically default and include regardless of conflict levels, etc.?
Right. And one of them is access to the portals. You know, those portals which drive us all crazy. Yes. I can't tell you how many times I changed my password.
Oh no,
I'm locked out with my emails. You know me and my millions of emails. I'm always messaging IT. I need a new password. Yeah. Anyways, but those portals, you should both have access to information. Typically, if you both have, you know, shared parenting, shared decision making, shared access, all
like even if you don't, shared or primary, this is still your kid,
right? But depending on what your agreement states about access to information,
you're right, and your responsibility though. Like I really keep coming back
your responsibility.
To that. The onus is on you. Yes. Find out the info, meet the kids' teacher, like be in touch, provide them your own email address.
Right.
You need to do the steps to get the information
you can't
from these various people in your children's life.
So interesting, that reminded me of some of my files where it is a situation where, let's just say mom is primary teacher communicator.
Yeah.
So I've seen situations where dad is like now learning how to get into that role. And
great.
It's like, I'm like, give him some, you know,
runway to do
to do it. Don't expect him to be on top of everything, the portals and the dates and the volunteer, and all that stuff tomorrow. I'm like, how about for this? So I might suggest, how about for the next 6 months, mom continues, but with reminders to dad that CC's dad, just
sort of a succession plan.
Yeah, it's like learning a new job, you know, like you're now handing it over to him. I mean, not handing it over, you're still responsible for your own, but then he's going to slowly take on more of that. And then eventually he's going to have to figure it out himself.
Yeah, you're much kinder. I'm like, dude, figure it out. What the fuck? These are your kids. Check your email.
I mean, it depends.
I'm not as patient with that.
I'm like, give him a minute, you know? Like, it's a lot to become a single dad. Curve. And if you've not been, you know, you don't know what's going on with the schools, who the teachers are, the play dates, the extracurriculars. Like, it's a lot to take on and to learn.
Extracurriculars, great segue to that, because I think that is something also that can get very contentious very fast.
I have never seen so much conflict as I have with the extracurriculars.
Tough one.
They are, and they just sort of get glossed over sometimes in other people's parenting plans who are not written by us.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, extracurriculars will be decided by way of mutual agreement. I'm like, no. This is a recipe for disaster. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I need a full page on how and when and who and why and all the times and pickups and drop-offs and consents and all that stuff.
All of the stuff.
If you're high conflict, you need the most detailed extracurricular plan.
Yeah. And so those details do look like, where do you have a veto?
Yeah.
Right. So is it a veto for paying for this activity, or is it a veto for safety? Because sometimes, you know, if you have one parent who's so keen for their kids to be in hockey and the other parent's like, well, I don't know, like TBIs, I'm not that keen for it. Right. We need to have that discussion.
Yes.
So that is a huge tricky point. But you still do have some veto powers for extracurriculars. But what you can't do is intentionally sabotage.
They're weaponized. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
That it becomes a tool for
control
and exactly. Because it's like something one parent wants and the other parent knows that they want it. And then the kid, who misses out? The kid misses out.
Always.
Like, how is that helping the kid?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so don't be a jerk. Don't withhold just because you want to punish the other parent because you don't like this sport because it wasn't the one you did as a child.
Right, or leveraging yours against theirs. Well, I want them to go to this ballet school instead of that ballet school. Like, who cares?
Who cares?
You know, like, it's just, and sometimes scheduling could be an issue.
Yes.
So you talked about safety. Like, okay, you don't want your kid to play football, and those are, I think, more, legitimate backed up reasons.
Yeah.
Affordability is another one.
Huge.
Right? Sometimes people can't afford it.
Yeah.
There's a difference between can't afford it and
won't.
And then there's also scheduling.
Yeah.
Because typically these programs are going to fall on both parents' time. You're both going to have to take the kids. How does that work? Assuming you both agree.
Yeah.
What if you don't want to, you have something else planned that day?
You know what? And it's so interesting because I used to be like in sort of my early days of doing this job, being like, no, you got to support that kid needs to be every week at their ballet class. You signed them up. It's not appropriate to just miss it. It's disrespectful. And now I'm like, so they miss every other week.
Who cares?
So the kid goes to 50% of the ballet classes.
Yeah.
Right. So I think a lot of this is what does the law say? What are you like required to do by, you know, the parameters of family law? And also what is appropriate for your specific family?
And at the end of the day, parents have a right to make the day-to-day decisions in their home.
They do.
Right? The courts do not want to tell you what time to put your kids to bed.
Exactly.
When to take them to school, what they should wear.
Nor
like this is not they can't, they won't, they're not going to.
It's not appropriate. Exactly.
Right? The only people who are getting involved in those things are child protection if there's child protection issues. Okay? So all that aside, you're going to do what you want on your parenting time.
Yeah.
You're going to decide which play dates they have, what food they eat, what shows that they watch. That's your job and right to do as a parent.
Agreed.
So if you decide that for whatever reason they're not going to ballet that day, that's your decision.
Yeah.
However, if your kid is in a competitive program where they're building skills and they themselves are really committed to it.
Or even if the kid just wants to go.
Or the
kid that they're competitive. Like, if they want to show up every week, support that.
I feel like it should be like obviously within parameters. If your 4-year-old, I mean, you know, it's hard to give them the choice.
Sure.
But I think as they get older, if they want to go and they're interested in it, great.
Yeah, support it.
Yeah. And if they but what if they don't?
I know.
What if the kid decides, I don't want to do ballet anymore?
Yeah.
Like, then what?
Then it's tricky. Listen, because that's the thing is as a family under one roof, you would say, well, like our family believes in, you know, commitments and showing up for things. So you're going to run this course of the 8 weeks that is this program and you don't need to re-register.
Exactly.
Cool.
Finish it off.
Finish what you started. Or some folks are like, who cares? Let's YOLO. Let's go to the park instead.
You know, let's do something else.
Exactly. It doesn't have to matter. But the difficulty then is when you have those two parents now in two homes and they have contradictory opinions.
And they're both financially invested in this program, right? So they both have paid whatever it is their share, right? Whatever it be, whether it be 50-50, 75, 25, 70-30, whatever it is, they both have contributed in some capacity. How do you handle that? And it's really frustrating. It causes a lot of conflict for families.
And this is why sometimes it is worthwhile. Like you said, the higher the conflict, the more detailed.
Yeah.
It is worthwhile to slow the process down and get very specific.
Right. Like if the child doesn't want to go or if the parent chooses not to take the child, that's their prerogative day.
I know.
You don't have to like it.
Yeah.
You can do something different in your house, but at the end of the day, you can't force them to do it.
And there has to be some letting go.
Like picking your battles. Like, okay, so you said they go to 50% of the ballet.
Right?
Like
they're 4 years old. Who cares?
Like let them, you know, it's not, I think there are certain things like homework has to be done.
Sure.
That's
okay.
that is to me, you know,
a non-negotiable. But then
what?
Some people are like, my kid's 5. They don't need to be doing homework. The other person is like, that's a non-negotiable. The teacher assigned it. You do it.
Well, if the teacher assigns it, you got to do the homework.
But maybe you don't. There's a big anti-homework movement.
I know. There's like some celebrities are like, I don't want my kids to do homework.
Not even celebs. A lot of people throughout my years of schooling.
A part of me,
they won't do
Part of me understands that.
Yep.
And you know, my kids are in a program where they're in a double curriculum, and they have a very intense. Yeah, they have a double curriculum, so they have a very intense academic day, and then they do also get a lot of homework. And I'm like,
they need to turn it off.
Do they really?
Yeah, they need a break.
No, like I think there's a balance.
I didn't do one piece of homework when I was in school. I don't know how I passed.
And you're successful and thriving.
Wait, you didn't do any homework like ever?
I'd say I probably did homework like 2% of the time that it needed to be done.
I was the one that did it and handed in early.
Oh, for sure.
Hold on. In university. In high school. In the elementary school, I was not like that. Yeah. But in high school, I was.
But elementary school, we didn't get any homework.
I did. I had a lot. I did.
None.
Oh my God. We had the most insane projects. I mean, my mom did some of that.
I had a lot of dioramas. But. So I think at the root of it all, the point of all of this is, regardless of doing the homework, not doing the homework, like the kids are going to be okay. Pick your battles, right? And if you believe that this is an issue within your co-parenting, you're also welcome to go say to the teacher, hey, FYI, they're not going to do homework on my time because I don't believe in it. They're going to do it on their time.
That's a really good point.
Sorry, and catch you later.
I think that also goes to the point of like, I think, you know, we've talked in the offline about how much information to tell the teacher.
Yeah.
I think giving them an update as to your parenting schedule. So for example, things like homework. So for some schools, homework's due on Monday. Okay. But maybe the homework parent doesn't see them all weekend that weekend. So maybe there's accommodations that could be made, right? So I think having that discussion with the teacher about maybe making some accommodations for when the homework comes in, or, we're working on this project together, but I'm not with them until Tuesday. But having that line of communication is important. Telling the teacher about the level of conflict.
Yeah.
I think there's a fine line there.
I think less is more, personally. Yeah. I think it really is airing your dirty laundry
to the school.
To the school that has no ability to manage, right? Like, what does the school need to know? They need to know how to contact both parents.
Yes.
To give them the information, because it's no longer one parent's responsibility to tell the other. Yeah. They need contact info, and they need to be emailing or calling both parents, right?
Right.
Timmy's sick. Who are we calling?
That's such a good one.
That's tricky. I get it. Yeah. Again, they're not going to know Timmy's parenting schedule.
Whose day it is?
Nor should they. That's too much.
Yeah.
So again, depending on the age of the child, they could say, okay, Timmy, who do I call? Mom or dad? Right. Or dad, or whomever your parents are. Who do I call? Who's at home with you this week? Like, I don't know. And then you tell them that.
Yeah.
So is your child old enough to be able to have that conversation? Are they now being brought into the conflict, right? So it's so nuanced is what I'm trying to say.
It just shows you that there's so much crossover between what, like, the school and the home. And there really is. Yeah. And so as much as we do want to separate it, we talk about separating it, there is still that crossover. When
they spend a lot of time there.
Yeah. And like, if they're sick, who do they call? Who do they go to?
Yeah.
Often in my parenting plans,
let's go back to the agreements.
Yeah. We put in that, like, if they wake up sick, it's who's ever home that they woke up in. Yeah. But if they are sick at school, we have a discussion. Like, who's the first? Sometimes one person's schedule doesn't allow for them to pick up.
So number one, have that conversation, and maybe you need to include that in your agreement.
Yes.
I had like a huge blow up in this exact example. And so ever since then, have actually put in the parenting schedule. Switchover is technically at noon. Yes, you're dropping that kid off at 9 o'clock. You're on the hook until noon. So if they forgot something, if they call because they're sick, you've got those 3 hours. Then at noon, it switches over to the person who's picking up Timmy after school. They're now on the hook for 3 hours. So Timmy's out at last recess, bonks his head. Guess what? Whoever's the pickup is on deck.
Interesting.
We had to be that specific. I mean, noon was just a halfway point, but we had to be that specific.
4, because that's when school ends. But you're right. It depends on what you've...
Listen,
but I like that you put in a time.
We have to put in a time.
You have to put in a time.
Yep.
If you are in a high conflict situation, you need times.
You need it. You need specificity.
You need times
and so if
dates
the school calls and you're on morning duty, not afternoon,
right?
It's the other parent. You're welcome to say, it's mom's day. So could you call mom? I'm not. It's not my responsibility.
Right.
You can still be concerned about your child and empathize and worry.
Right.
But there has to be these delineated, clear lines that, sorry, this is not my time. Right, now, if the other parent phones you because they just got the call and like, crap, can you pick Timmy up? I'm stuck in a meeting. Great. Right. Depending on your relationship, how you can communicate, first right of refusals, all this stuff.
Things, yeah.
You're welcome to still have each other's backs. But that's not for the schools to decide. That's not for the teacher or the office administrator to be like, well, let me look where Timmy's parenting schedule is.
Noon and it's 1:30 and like, where does that? It's not. They can't do that. They're not going to do it.
Yep.
And you don't want them to waste the time.
And more importantly, they have 20 other kids in the class.
And you're not the only one who's from 2 homes.
Exactly.
There's a whole bunch of other ones that they have to deal with. So they can't possibly be expected to know that.
So parents, you really need to know in your agreements what style of communication. What are your email addresses? Who is calling who? When are you on the hook for pickups or drop-offs or whatever? Like, there needs to be really clear, detailed everything. Everything.
No detail is too small.
One thing I want to go back on when we're talking about extracurriculars is also equipment. So whether it's their trombone or their hockey bag or, their homework folder or duotang.
Right. Their
what
laptop
do they need?
Or their whatever. So you're talking about like the transfer of equipment or
So one thing that, we hear a lot from kids if we're, working with them that they don't want to feel like they're living out of a suitcase. And it's fun. I've actually been really encouraging my clients lately to try out nesting. And so nesting, for those that don't know, is the kids stay in the home and the parents switch in and out. So maybe you're going to go sleep at your parents on their couch for a week, or you're renting an Airbnb for your time. I like this, and here's why. Now you're living out of a suitcase. Now you're going back and forth. Now you have a real lived experience about what you're about to put your children through.
Ooh.
And it's not about punishment or whatever. I don't think co-parenting is punishment. I think it's wonderful that we have, the option to still see your child without having to live with somebody who is not meant to be in your family. It's like taking the medication
before giving it to your kids type of thing. It's kind of like, let me be the guinea pig.
Right? Let me put my little bottle on my wrist to make sure it's safe.
I don't have a reaction or whatever, the cream or whatever that is. Make sure I don't have a reaction. It's safe.
Exactly. But all that to say, aside from what I like to do personally with my clients, all that to say is we don't want the kids feeling like they're schlepping stuff constantly back and forth.
And that it's a responsibility.
So what are they going to do? Schlep their hockey bag to school? And then have it wear. And then, we talked about the kids just getting to be kids at school. Now you're like, oh, you're the divorced kid. You have to carry your hockey stuff here.
It sucks. Like,
it does suck.
They don't need additional
They don't need it.
Spotlights on them.
And so what do the parents do then?
What do they do?
So are you dropping it off at the other parent's home? Is that going to cause more conflict?
There's so many
Are
issues
you
with this.
right? Like, do you
Who's
have
doing
the
what?
ability to drop this shit off? Like, people work, people have lives, people are sick and traveling and doing whatever it is they're doing, right? So think about all of these little like micro details that factor in hugely. Like, they can have a really huge impact. If every week you have to run into this person, your ex, to deliver hockey gear, is that good for your relationship? Is that good for the kids?
Right.
And so if not, if you already are like, I drop off and pick up at school so I don't have to go to this person's house.
Right.
I don't have to see them.
School is your transition place for a
neutral.
reason. You don't have to see each other. So what some of my clients do is that they will drop off at the other parent's house. They don't have to see them.
Just drop it on the porch or
whatever. They'll let them know, I'm dropping it off
yeah.
today. It's on the porch because you don't want some porch pirate taking it. And that hockey equipment is expensive. They'll arrange a time that it's okay to drop off, whether it's during the day or in the evening after the kids are asleep. Like if they're at one other person's house, whatever.
Right.
And they alternate maybe.
Right.
Maybe it's like my week to drop off the hockey and then next week you drop off the hockey. But the idea is do it when the kids are not around.
Definitely do it when
they
the
don't need
kids
to
are
see
around.
it. It's like they shouldn't see it. It should just happen.
Just their stuff is
there. It just miraculously appears at dad's house. It miraculously appears at mom's house. And they don't need to know how it got there.
And eventually they do get to an age where maybe they're going on their own anyway. So they are dealing with this stuff on their own. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But when they're little, you really don't want them involved in this back and forth. You don't want them feeling like they are so transient and all of their stuff just have to carry like a fucking hermit crab, where they got to carry their house on the back.
Right, on the back of,
It's too much.
Yeah.
We want them just to be children for as long as possible. So by protecting them, or you are able to protect them and their peace a lot more, and ideally your own, by again being really specific about what you put in your agreement. So again, think about all of these things.
But also, if you can't think about all these things, call us. But I often will bring these things up.
Yes.
And my clients will go, oh, I never even thought about that. I'm like, well, of course you wouldn't, because you don't have the experience. And so that's okay.
Exactly.
You don't go to the doctor and tell them what you need done.
No, that's why we're talking about it here.
Right. So we're telling you this is what you need to do.
Yes.
And this is what you need to put into your
Exactly.
And for some people, it might be totally not relevant. They're just very amicable. This is not even an issue. But for other people, it is.
Yeah.
So
we really need to be very specific, very detailed. It seems like a lot of painful work to do, and it is. It's quite hard. And yet, choose your heart, right? Is your heart spending a little bit more time in conflict, coming up with a really good, really solid agreement? Or is your heart going to be fucking dealing with the back and forth and the conflict for so many years? For some, they've got a lot of years.
Yeah.
And what we don't want is them wishing those years away just to be done with their ex, right? So again, if you have already an agreement in place and you're like, fuck, why did my lawyer not think of all these things? Damn. And you're cursing them now. Guess what? You can still change things.
Yeah, so you can amend it.
Yeah, right.
As long as you both agree.
We do an annual review to calculate child support. You're also meant to be reviewing the plan.
Yeah.
Right? This is a living organic document. Your children are going to grow. Their needs are going to change.
Yeah.
The document should reflect those changes. Yeah. So yes, you are entitled to change your parenting plan. Yes, of course, everyone needs to agree. Otherwise, you're going into court, to battle, to whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not too late, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to give hope to those that are currently in conflict because of extracurriculars.
Like, oh shit, I didn't put that in, and we're having this conflict. So go to a mediator, get an amendment, both of you can agree
You
on.
Spend 1 hour
on extracurriculars
with us, and we just talk about extracurriculars.
There you go.
And then you're done.
One issue, and then you're done.
Here's your addendum. Moving on.
And then come back if there's an issue.
Yeah.
Just so you have that person.
Yeah.
To discuss it with.
Exactly. And weigh in, because that's exactly it. You're not an expert. We are meant to be that.
This episode was written and created by Alex Howard and Amanda Silver. Produced, edited, and engineered by RTF Productions. Make sure to rate and review our show if you loved it, and give us a follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you stream your podcast to stay up to date on all upcoming episodes. Thanks for listening, and go easy on us. We're not your ex.